Have you ever heard of a place so cursed that it seems to swallow people whole? Today, we're re-diving into the shadowy history of the Silvercrest Hotel and the truly baffling case of Sophie Lane, a young woman who checked in but never checked out. This story is a chilling rabbit hole of strange behavior, a sinister hotel, and a mystery that still haunts people to this day. On March 14th, 2021, a bright and adventurous traveler named Sophie Lane walked into the grand lobby of the Silvercrest Hotel in downtown Portland. She was on a dream trip, exploring the Pacific Northwest and sharing her journey on her blog. Her family described her as vibrant and responsible, someone who called home every single day. But on that day, the calls stopped. The blog posts ended. Sophie Lane had vanished without a trace. Her family, frantic with worry, immediately reported her missing. They flew to Portland, plastered the city with flyers, and worked tirelessly with the police. Days turned into weeks, but every lead went cold. It was as if Sophie had simply evaporated into thin air. The city held its breath, hoping for her safe return, but the silence from Sophie's end was deafening. Where could she have gone? Then, in April, the Portland Police Department released a piece of evidence that turned the entire investigation on its head and sent shockwaves across the internet. It was surveillance footage from one of the hotel's elevators, taken on the last day Sophie was seen, and what it showed was deeply, deeply disturbing. The video begins with Sophie entering the elevator alone, but her behavior is anything but normal. She pushes multiple buttons, almost frantically. Then she peers out into the hallway, her head darting back and forth as if she's looking for someone or hiding from someone. She retreats back into the corner of the elevator, crouching down as if to make herself invisible. At one point, she steps out, gesturing and talking to someone who isn't there. Her movements are erratic, a mix of fear and confusion. It's like she's playing a terrifying game of hide-and-seek with an unseen entity. This footage went viral. Armchair detectives and conspiracy theorists went into overdrive. What was happening to Sophie Lane in that elevator? Was she having a severe mental health crisis? A sudden psychotic break? Some suggested she was under the influence of something, but toxicology reports would later rule that out. Others, watching her strange, almost choreographed movements, wondered if she was trying to escape an assailant who was just outside the camera's view, directing her actions from the shadows. And of course, given the creepy nature of it all, supernatural theories began to surface. Was the Silvercrest Hotel haunted? Was Sophie being tormented by something not of this world? While the internet was buzzing with theories, something strange was happening inside the hotel itself. Guests started complaining about the water. It had a weird, sweet, almost metallic taste. Sometimes, when they first turned on the faucet, a dark, murky liquid would sputter out before clearing up. One guest described it as disgusting and undrinkable. Most people just brushed it off as old pipes or a quirk of an aging building. They drank bottled water and tried to forget about it. They had no idea they were right in the middle of a developing horror story. The unsettling truth about the water wouldn't be revealed for another 2 weeks. On the morning of March 28th, after numerous complaints about low water pressure and the discolored water, a hotel maintenance worker was sent to the roof to inspect the massive water tanks that supplied the entire building. He climbed the ladder, unlatched the heavy lid of one of the main tanks, and peered inside. And that's when he made the horrifying discovery. Floating in the dark water was the body of Sophie Lane. Her personal belongings, including her phone and room key, were found nearby on the roof. The tragic discovery answered the question of where Sophie was, but it opened up a Pandora's box of new ones. How did she get in there? The tanks were on a restricted access roof, and the lids were incredibly heavy. The official autopsy ruled her death an accidental drowning, with her bipolar disorder noted as a contributing factor. The theory was that she had experienced a manic episode, climbed to the roof, and somehow got into the tank herself. But for many, especially her family, that explanation felt incomplete. It didn't account for the sheer difficulty of accessing the tank. It didn't fully explain the terror in her eyes in that elevator footage. Was she trying to hide from a real person who chased her to the roof? Did someone else put her in that tank? The case was officially closed, but the mystery remained very much open. And that's when people started digging into the history of the Silvercrest Hotel itself, and what they found was chilling. The building had a dark and sordid past, long before Sophie Lane ever stepped foot inside. Decades earlier, It was the known residence of a notorious criminal dubbed the Harbor Stalker, a man suspected of multiple brutal murders in the area. He used the hotel as his base of operations, a grim fact that seemed to stain the very walls of the building. The hotel's history of tragedy didn't stop there. In the 1970s, another horrifying incident occurred. A guest fell from one of the upper floor windows. A tragic event made even more so when they struck and killed a pedestrian on the sidewalk below. Accidents, crimes, and unexplained events seemed to be woven into the fabric of the Silvercrest. Locals started calling it the Cursed Hotel, a place where misfortune lingered like a permanent guest. The parallels between Sophie's case and other dark events at the hotel were too strong for many to ignore. It felt like the building itself was a character in the story, a malevolent force contributing to the tragedy. This unsettling legacy was brought to the forefront in 2023 with the release of a true crime documentary called Vanished at the Silvercrest. The film dove deep into Sophie's case, re-examining the elevator footage, interviewing experts, and exploring the hotel's grim history. It reignited public interest and brought up the same old questions. Was Sophie's death a tragic accident fueled by a mental health crisis? Or was she a victim of something far more sinister? A human predator, or the hotel's own dark energy? Sophie Lane's story is a heartbreaking tragedy. It's a reminder of the importance of mental health, awareness, and compassion. If you or someone you know is struggling, please know that there are resources available and people who want to help. You can reach out to a crisis hotline or mental health professional. You are not alone. The case of Sophie Lane at the Silvercrest Hotel remains one of the most perplexing and haunting modern mysteries. It's a story that forces us to question what we see, what we believe, and whether some places are truly marked by the tragedies they've witnessed. What do you think happened to Sophie? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you found this story compelling, please like and subscribe for more deep dives into the unknown.